Okay, we're going to go ahead and do another painter piece. This time I'm going to work from a sketch that I did and scanned in. So let me open it up. You notice there's a huntress and a huntress low. I'm opening up the lower resolution one, just so this will go a little bit faster. It's 150 DPI. I scan most of these things, even when you're doing regular comic book work, at about 300 or 400 DPI. Okay, I'm going to first thing is make a new layer, and we want that to be in multiply mode, and then we're going to open up our brush controls and our materials. Okay, and this time I'm going to lay down a background first. Let's bring up our brushes. Let's switch this to another one. Now I have this on just bleed, as you can tell when I open it up, and that just lets me shift stuff around. But I want to be bigger, and I shift it up so I actually can paint with it a little bit. See how slow some of these move? You don't want to use this one for painting this background, because it moves too slow. Let me see if I drop this. Even if I drop the bleed, it still is just ages to use. It's small, fine for a small brush, but not so fine for. Here's another one, but let's change. Static bristle, captured bristle. Made a grainy soft cover, so it's more of a smooth shape I'm getting back there. And again, I'm just trying to kind of get a tone for the camera. So I could always just fill or use lighting effects like I showed you in the other tool, but I'd rather try and get some sort of blending going here. I added some bleed to the brush, so now it's going to pick up some of the color next to it. Okay. Okay, there's something to work with. Not done, but something to work with. Alright, let's start going with our flesh tone. Again, I'm just kind of blocking in here. Now I have some bleed on here right now, so I'm picking up the underneath color. The more I go on top. Her hair. Taking off the bleed. Again, just sort of blocking in color. I'm going to give her kind of a tube dress. Okay. Alright, now basically I'm going to zoom in and start rendering this thing up now that I've slapped some paint on there. Go with a smaller brush. Zoom in. The zoom tool's the same as in Photoshop, so are a lot of the tools. Let's see. I'm going to kind of, since I already did all these color choices, I'm going to pick from the canvas a lot. I'm going to switch to another brush. Switch to a smeary round brush. So again, I'm moving stuff around right now. Working the hair a little bit. Now I've taken the bleed off and just resaturating, so I'm actually just applying color now. And I think I'll give her, oh, how about some blue eyes? A little bit of blue in here. Now remember, as for the eyes to look convincing, they need to have some, as they get up to the top part, the lid will cast some shadows, and also if you look at the shape of the way the eye works, the iris goes concave in the eye, so you catch a little bit of light on the bottom part of it usually. Of course, this all depends on where your lighting is coming from, but in my case for this piece, that's where it would be. Like a teeny, 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 teeny brush. Adding a little highlight there. Excuse my sniffing, I have allergies sometimes. Probably just a clue that I need to go take some allergy medicine. Okay, that's an ugly rust mud brown, and I don't like it, so I'm going to go over it with another one. A bit of a richer brown there. Again, in general, think brighter and saturated with some of these highlights. Okay. Let's go ahead and start adding our details. I'm going to pick from, I'm just going to go into the kind of, not my brightest highlights, but where these shapes will be. You're going to go, oh, he's making it ugly. Well, you'll see at the end of the day it'll work out. Now I'm using a tool that has a fairly hard edge right now, which again is great for details, but I want to go ahead and smooth. So let's go ahead and switch to, well, I can just go bigger with the tool and switch it to a bleed tool, and then see how I can smooth out these areas. It's not a real quick brush though, the smeary round, so let's try like smeary flat. I think is a little bit faster. Pull that color a little bit out. Those are my sons, if you hear those noises outside my studio when I told them to be quiet. Anyway, alright, that's beginning to take some shape. I'm going to zoom out and sort of continue this. I'm switching to dropping my bleed, so now I'm really painting again with this brush. I'm going to pick that base color I have here. So I'm working on the arm. Pulling that darker color. Have a little bit of shadow here from her head. And shadow here under the arm by the breast. A little bit more of a shadow condition here. Okay. Again, we're getting there slowly but surely. I picked a cool color here. I'm going to use that to balance out the face. Bring it in over here on this side of the body as well. And even pull it into the hair. Oops. You can see we don't really go all the way on our background, so let's go ahead and switch to a smeary tool. And we're just going to pull this stuff down. See, when the brush gets a little big, it doesn't. Not too happy with this. Photoshop would blast out this brush. That's okay. Okay, I don't mind a little bit in there. It's actually a pretty cool brush that they have. Let's see how quickly I can find it in the gazillion brushes. Let's see. I'm looking for... There's a... let's see, runny. It's kind of cool because what this does is just you can start giving you kind of drips. I'm just going up and down, and see how it just gives us like, it's great for getting that sort of drippy painted effect. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of that back here on our painterly background. Okay. Let's go back to our regular brushes. I'm going to go ahead and flatten in the line art. So I need show objects, and I will drop all. Just got sort of this I guess a little bit reminiscent of Blade Runner eye makeup on. I'm just smearing this. Again, I have a smeary flat brush, and have it just on bleed. No resaturation, so I'm just taking what I have already down and I'm just blending with this brush. Going back and forth over the area, using the edges mostly. I'm going to make a little smaller brush down here. And if I lose things a little too much, I can always go back and use this as our blending brush. I kind of like it. I'll switch to like the round camel hair for adding back some details. I'm going to pick that darker color, and of course I have a really big brush. Just going to add back a little bit of the detail that I lost. Okay, I'm going to go back to smeary flat bristle. Just going into the hair. I'm going a little closer here. Smearing out the lips. Just losing those lines. Using a round camel hair. Just working in the eyes. Switch to saturation. Pick a color. Giving us a little bit of again, I'll be smoothing these out after, or you can leave them, it depends how you like doing it. Adding some highlights in the hair. I switched this to a just pure bleed brush now, so I'm just blending with it. Her cheeks got a little fat on us, so let me switch this brush. Pull that shape in a little bit more. I might hide with a little bit more of the hair too on her cheek. And picking colors again, just sort of cleaning up her flesh a little bit. Just working away. Sometimes it helps to add a little bit of a darker shadow towards the end of a shadow, or edge of a shadow, I should say. Pull the shape together. Oh, that's bad. We can fix that though. See, I only had that. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, I think I messed with the just kind of playing a little bit. Some strokiness in here. Really cool tool. And again, remember, you can take any of these tools and make them into to the blending tools. So the Scratchboard Rake tool is a tool that I just love, and it gives you a line like that. Naturally, I don't want that there, but I'm going to use it to kind of pull some of our color. As you can see how it gives me kind of a rakey. Now I have it on just drawing with it. If you're going for some sort of interesting textural thing, it can be the tool for you. See? Becomes almost like an etching. That gives you an idea of what it can do. I'll do some more of it up here in the hair. I'm adding some more highlights. I'm just working on the skin. Again, just using the Scratchboard tool just to have some fun. And it can go pretty big and still move pretty fast. So I have it about this big now, you can see. They're all kind of sketchy. Sort of. So there's some tools that are faster than others in this program. Even really big like this. It's kind of interesting. Have some texture in here. Let's go back to a smeary round. Switch it to bleed. Just messing with the hair. Again, we're just sketching here. I'm not going to finish this whole thing since it's just a sketch. Probably just keep this part, really. Just kind of going with the shape of the shoulder. I just want to lose most of these pencil lines before I'm done. I'm just going to lose that edge a little bit. And let's see now. And come down. I'm just messing with the controls here really quick. So right now it had no size control, and I want size control. There, I can pull a small brush or a big one. And I want to have opacity control. And these I can get rid of. There you go. That's the brush for me. Alright, let's finish this thing up. I did that because I wasn't getting any thick and thin, and I think I reset my brushes to some other use last time I was in here playing, so. Remember, right now this brush is on just bleed, which enables me to push around all the paint underneath. I'm not adding any new paint, I'm just taking what's there and I'm moving it around. So this is great for hair, 'cause it so does the hair with the bristles very well. Just smoothing everything out, kind of, again, still kind of sculpting a little bit. That's kind of the fun part about this. Is really the whole sculpting sort of nature of the tool on Bleed. And there you go, painter sketch. We're going to leave the rest of it because otherwise we'll be here for a lot longer. This is just our quick sketches. So I would crop it right there. And save. Sure, replace it. Why not? Yeah, I'm going to do one more thing. Just to the eyes, real quick. Thought I was done. I need to switch. Just gives a little bit of highlights in there. There's a little bit of detail in there in the eyes to make this kind of come together. And I'm going to put a little bit of shadow in here from the hair. And here. And while I'm at it, slight more finish on the lips. I'm drawing with color now. Alright. And it's just a sketch, so I'm going to stop myself from doing anything more after I do... done. There you go.